Hello bonsai friends, it's Lee with Lee's Trees. Hopefully you can hear me over the wind. As you can see, the benches are clear. We've had our first snow of the year, Monday, November the 10th. And take a quick peek in the greenhouse here. Not sure how good some of this is going to come in. I've got the camera in the greenhouse here. We're all packed in here pretty tight. We have our Blue Atlas cedar there, our Japanese black pine, cotoneaster. We have a new tree here, a dawn redwood. And we also have another new little tree down there. Hard to see. It's a wisteria. I'm not sure what type or what color, but it's a wisteria. And of course those are in nursery pots, pre-bonsai material. So we have a little juniper up here, and our Japanese black pine rooted cutting there, our other juniper. So we have our bald cypresses right here. We got our hinokis and junipers. The Zelkova in the back there, let's see, I forget, that's the hornbeam, Korean hornbeam. Again, our white pine up there, another hinoki. Oh, and there it is, down in the corner there, the ponderosa pine. I'm sure it could probably take the cold, but just in case we brought it inside. And speaking of inside, that's where we're going to go next. Okay, bonsai friends, we are inside. No, it's a little bit backlit, but we have our indoor grow set up. And I did have to make one change here in the last few days. I did have to replace most of my lights. Those are all new. The lights that I had before were this style here. These little tubes, and I still have a couple of those on that very bottom shelf, and unfortunately I had to replace them a couple of times already. Even though they are, only $11-12, having to replace that a couple of times a year just isn't worth it. These other lights are supposed to have a 2-year no hassle guarantee, so hopefully that we'll get a couple years out of them. We've got our one Chinese elm in the back there. I got tops up front. Of course, we have our big port there, big jade. We have our ficus microcarpa right there, sort of a side view of it. Next shelf down, we have the Wayward Sisters in the back. In the front, we have the Manny Bridge, the tripod back here. We have our other leap year jade in the back. Again, the Portulacaria forest. Frankie corkbark there in front. Here in the green pot. Again, more rooted cuttings down below. And more rooted cuttings. And more rooted cuttings. Now, a couple years ago, when I was first getting into bonsai, and I was watching Dave's Bonsai's channel, Dave Wise, with Bonsai Acres and Dave's Bonsai, I saw him using a water bottle to water some of his plants. There we go, let's get it in frame. And he had taken and drilled a few holes in the lid so that when he filled it with water and tipped it over, he could squirt the water where he wanted. I was doing that for the last couple years. The problem is that sort of disturbs the soil some. And on some of these trees, I didn't want to be disturbing the soil a lot, so I needed a different method that was a little more gentle. So this year, what I did is I purchased a large fertilizer style sprayer. This is a 2-gallon. But what I did is I cut off the tip. See if that focuses or not. I cut the tip off so there's just a gentle little stream, and I'll demonstrate that here just a moment. Now, I took a moment to put some pressure in the sprayer, and I'll use my Jade Forest here, and as you can see, I can put the tip in there, and when I give it a squeeze, hopefully you can see that, it just gently comes out, and I can move the tip in around and get each individual tree. Or I can move it back and water that one. I can move it. And this way I'm not having to reach in with a bottle or have to move the trees out. This is not my idea. Someone showed me this to me, but I finally went and adapted it for myself. So I've been doing this for a couple weeks now, and so far it's been working out really great. Now I do have a few other things here. Okay, I'm in my back room where I do some of my other filming. We picked up a few new pots and a couple of stands. Yesterday was the club that I belong to had its potluck dinner and club auction where club members donate items to raise money for the club. And I picked up these items, so I've got a really nice 12-inch mica drum pot here, training pot, a nice little ceramic green one. Really nice, beautiful blue pot. And even though this is a factory pot, it does have a stamp on it. Oh, you might see a little water dripping out of it. I had it outside. It had a little snow in it. And I got a nice stand here that I think will work great with that round Elizabeth Cruttendon pot that I have. And I have this little stand that I think is going to work fantastic with my Japanese black pine, the rooted cutting, and the tiny little, also an Elizabeth Cruttendon pot. Let's bend down here and let's see. I guess if you can see those better. All right, well, that's it for our update and new items. I hope you'll hit the like and subscribe, and thank you for watching.